like to bring this meeting to order for February 26, 2026. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here.
Councilman Henderson.
Here.
Councilman Lamb.
Here.
Councilman Weinking.
Here.
Councilman Bullen.
Here.
Councilman Green.
Here.
Councilman Howe.
Here.
We have one.
Thank you. I would like to, Gary Heinbach, are you here? Okay, I would like to have an apology, sincere apology by me. I was advised that you did not get your first business license earlier this year, and in further checking, we did find that you did pay it on January 5th. I am sorry that I had put it in my letter from the mayor's desk that you did not pay, but I assure you, you did pay, okay? And you did get reimbursed for $30 that came in to pay a second time. Is that correct? That's correct. Okay. We also met earlier today, and we had a very good discussion. I believe we're on the right track now.
Absolutely. And thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Have you all looked over the council meeting minutes of 1/29/2025? Any questions on them?
Motion.
Second. Any discussion on all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Treasurer's report. Any questions on the treasurer's report as submitted?
Motion accept.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, I just want to bring it to the attention of the folks here. The IRS issued penalties for overdue payments to the city for the second and third quarters of the year 2025 of a total of $4,323.78. And let it be known that an anonymous citizen covered the cost of these penalties when the city received this information from the IRS. That money was deposited into the payroll account. So the city taxpayers' money was not used on those penalties.
I have a few questions.
You want to go on during the councilman, members' council comments?
Sure.
Report submitted. We have the police department. Do you have any questions on the police report? If not, the law enforcement committee met, and their recommendations have been submitted to every council member, the members of that law enforcement committee. And at this time, I would like to have our chief, Babs, and our patrolman, Haley Huron, please step forward. It is at this time, Haley Huron, you're morning, you can start. By the way, the law enforcement committee has 5 members, and all of us have police experience, and it was unanimous, but other than Kevin Hutchins, I'm sorry. But all of them unanimously recommended that she be promoted to sergeant. She is definitely helping out our community in many, many ways. Any, questions on the fire department report? If not, we'll move on to Public Works. Do you have any questions on Public Works? If not, I have done some research, looked through applications for a Public Works Director. A lot of the aldermen have stated that they would like to see a Public Works Director, and I have hired Merle Fawcett as our Public Works Director, and he's agreed to work as our Public Works Director in a part-time Public Works Director position, consisting of at least 30 hours a week. And he has VA health insurance, so the city won't have to pay his health insurance. He's already made vast improvements to our yard down there, our office space. Right here in the office, we have all our records that we've had stacked up all over the place in one location now. So, and he's just an asset, and I would like to, due to that, I recommend department head, I would like to see a motion from city council approving that.
All second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on, do you guys have any questions on the streets, water? Wastewater?
We got a smoke machine.
Yes.
What about the
Well, we're working on, we have a camera down there right now. It's a push camera. It only has one lens that goes forward. Okay, so at the time it was a high-tech camera. Okay, times have changed. So what we're doing is we're coming up with a fixture to put onto that camera. What happens right now with that push camera, as you're pushing it through, the lift station is pumping water from the lift station down that pipe that you're actually using. The camera itself is underwater. Okay, so you're not really getting any kind of view of what the condition of that pipe is. What we're doing is we're designing a harness to go around that camera with wheels to raise it up out of that water level so that we'll be able to have view of the actual pipe itself. So
is the elevation consistent over all of the sewer system?
the elevation as far as what's in that pipe, that all depends on, it all depends how much water. Okay, if we have infiltration coming in, you can see in some of the pipes that we've already cambered, there might be a 2-inch level between rainwater that is infiltrating our system and the normal level that's only about 2 inches in that 8-inch pipe. Okay, so by raising this up, we're going to be able to get a better view and location.
The infiltration sites that we're finding.
Alan, use your mic, please.
Oh,
I
I'm
think that
sorry.
thing's off. Can you turn both switches on? Should be a one on each side.
Yeah, I think that's working. And what I started asking was, are we going to do anything about fixing some of these infiltration spots that we already know about? Are there things we can fix?
Right now, we don't know where the spots are yet. Okay, we have cameras on it.
Oh, it should show some of it.
Yeah, tomorrow they plan on doing Ferncliff Point. So we're gonna have we already put it out on Facebook and our website that we're gonna be smoke testing Ferncliff Point. That is one of the troubled areas that we have. The lift station that's at the end of Ferncliff Point pumps into lift station 6 behind Bell Arco.
And what I was thinking is there should be some of these infiltration points that we can get to without major.
Once we see that there's a major problem, yes, we'll be fixing them.
Okay, well, I hated the thought we were sitting here waiting for
No.
something to happen somewhere down the future to fix that, we need to get on it.
Yeah, well, we are. Been working all week on it. And they did some smoke testing over on Riverwood. We already did smoke testing on River Cliff. We had, even though we advised most of the people, if they're like me, I don't have the internet, I don't listen to the radio, so it's very hard for me to get any kind of information. So that's why we're going to put a sign out there for that subdivision, okay, saying that we're going to be smoke testing. So when you see smoke coming out of the stack of the roof, as long as it's not coming out the sides of the roof, okay, it's okay. That smoke is going through that plumbing system. Obviously, if it's coming out the windows, someone's got a problem, okay? So, yeah, we want to be notified, so definitely call us. But the more eyes we put out there, that smoke is designed so if there's a crack in the pipe, it's going to come up through the ground. And we're trying to do that before this next rain. Next week, it looks like every day it's going to be raining, so.
How does that affect if you have a manhole? If you have a manhole that's infested with tree roots, you're not gonna get smoke to penetrate through it, is what I'm saying. If you have...
No, it'll still come through those root areas. Okay, that smoke will go through where the roots are. Now, it may, depending on how deep it is, it may not show up. Back 10 years ago when we did smoke testing, there was a vacant field, and we found smoke coming out of the ground. It was a dry time of the year. That pipe was actually 8 foot in the ground, okay, but it was busted. So it will come up if there's a crack in the soil. We're not going to catch all of them, but we're going to try to camera everywhere where we do have and determine through all these other agencies we've been working with if we need to just get a plumber to cut out the roots, if that's going to be sufficient, or we'll have to, if we got a break in the pipe and actually have to dig it up and repair it with couplers and new pipe, or it may fall into class where we can just reline it, throw a liner in there. So there are other options which are less cost effective, than more cost effective out there for us.
So at any rate, we're getting started.
Yes. Yeah, we've been working on it for 8 months. They've been doing data, and now they got all the data collected. They should have their final draft for us in 2 weeks, and they're also made contact with individuals for funding. So we've met those people just Wednesday, and we'll go from there. Anything else on sewer? Questions? I look for a motion to accept reports from police, fire, and public works.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, as far as Planning and Zoning Commission, we have an ordinance and a resolution on the agenda. And Parks Committee, we just got in our new parking bumpers have arrived. So we got 25 bumpers to put in over at Browns Beach. I believe the Parks Department had a meeting just tonight before this meeting out there in the wild, wild west. But we'll be looking for individuals to help install these things. We got a plan. We'll try to get it together and make this as easy as possible. Also, we're looking at getting some stainless steel 1/4-inch cable so that we can get that swim area before the lake starts rising. Like I said, we got a whole week here coming up with rain, so we want to get that going and get it ready for our summer events. The other thing is, I had sent out 4 estimates for tree removal There's 2 trees. They're rather large trees at Dam Site Park. There's 1 tree at Dan Huser Park. And then there's 1 tree over at Martha and Browns Beach at the big sycamore. That's probably the biggest tree. That's 32-inch diameter, roughly. And I got 4 estimates in there. Hopefully you guys look through it. There's 4. There's one like 5,000. Another one's 4,900. Another one's 3,000. And another one is 2,850. All the people or all the businesses have submitted their insurance and business licenses. I think the only one we didn't receive was insurance from Shoals, or did we get one? Or did we have one on time? Did we have insurance on file for Shoals tree service?
Not yet, didn't finish it.
Okay, so that's the only difference. Whatever all the 3 have issued, what I'm looking from you guys is who do we want to go with, and how are we going to pay it? Two of them are at Dam Site Park, where we can use out of the donation account. There's 1 at Dan Huser where we can use out of the parks, and we got 1 that's in the street, but it's reason for that one to come down, it's right on top of our water line. And that sycamore is going to do some damage if we don't take care of it now.
I noticed when we were going through here, one of the quotes says for 3,000, that doesn't include haul off.
None of them are including haul off. The city will do the haul off.
Underwood had you quoted here for haul off. Yeah, so the other one.
For $5,000.
Yeah, Linden's on here, the full feed for wood and bird.
For $4,900.
I think the one for 3,000 said they would help the city cut it up in small enough pieces we can get rid of it.
Yeah, the 2,850 was that. They would help cut it up into sections that where we could handle it.
I guess my question would be to the Public Works Director, is can we handle cutting the stuff up? If we just go with the bid, if we go with the bid that doesn't cut it up into small chunks and help us get rid of it, is that something that we can do without overtaxing our workers?
Yes, yes. We could have the trees pulling up in a day.
Okay.
On any of these that we go with, how quick can they get on it if we approve? Or we gotta wait 2 months?
No, I did not. Well, the ones that are on the core lease, we only have right now, I think it's only 25 days left on that permit. I mean, yeah, we can extend that, but they'll be done, I didn't ever, so I know the one, 2850 can be down here. But it's up to you guys which one you want to go with.
Are we looking for a motion tonight, or?
Well, the sooner we get it, the sooner we get these trees down before Dam Site Park opens up.
If our department head here, I don't know, says we can get it cut up, then I'd say we go for the 3,000, the cheapest one, and.
Or the cheapest one is 2,850.
Well, regardless, the cheapest.
Is the 28, is the one we're missing some paperwork on, is that the 2851?
No, that's the 3,000.
Okay, got it, all right. So, yeah, I
That's the one that hasn't turned in the insurance.
would agree with Mike that we just go with the lowest one if we're able to do the rest of the work ourselves. I don't see why we should.
I'd go with motion then.
I move that we accept the low bid on the tree removal.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
I had a question for,
Now, what we're as far as the tree service now, are we gonna take from each account, or, you know, dam site's got 2 trees, so I want to just split that up? I mean, obviously, the trees that are at dam site, we're gonna try to keep there for firewood for our RV parks. Okay, so we're not really gonna have to haul anything off other than chip up the smaller branches. But as far as the dam user one, and then the street, we want all 3 departments to pay some of it.
And respectfully, they're all in different zones that are covered by different sections of our finances, so.
Right.
Things in the zone, so that not one account is taken from, and some of it's in our parks and some in our streets.
Okay, I'll split it up that way though. Okay, thank you.
I had a quick question to back up a little bit, to the park. Lynn, did we, I can't see Lynn behind the podium somewhere. Thank you, Lynn. Did we decide that we needed some rebar to put those parking things in, or are we gonna recast what's there? Or what are we doing about the rebar? Because I know that was an issue. And I said I had some rebar, which I do, and I'd be happy to donate, but if you need it, I'll donate it. If you don't, it's
I think
fine.
the mayor has got that under control
Okay.
of the parking down at Brown's Beach.
Yeah, what we're gonna need is, I figured 5 sticks, 20-foot sticks of 1/2-inch rebar. We'll cut them up into 11 and 3/4 inch pieces, put a point on all of them. It needs 4 pieces of rebar for each bumper.
Do we have that somewhere?
No, we'll have to take that up at, White River Materials.
Okay, because I've got some, I'm not sure it's 1/2-inch diameter, but I've got some, I'll look at it and see, whatever I have, I'll donate, and whatever else we need, then we'll just have to buy, I guess. But I do have some that I can donate for sure.
They're really gonna look awesome.
Yeah, and, Merle said, I mean, we got a welder down there, we'll weld the washer to the top of that rebar, so it'll sit down inside that, bumper, the way they're designed, so.
I've got 5 sticks of packets we hold out my shop.
While we're on parks, thank you to Mr. John Heindorn. He's committed a $500 donation to the archery range. And for anyone else that was considering, looking to donate, the city gets made out to the check gets made out to the city and the Menlo Line archery range, please, so that we can keep track.
Is he a resident, Mike, or, okay.
Okay, the budget committee, also you received minutes from, do you have any questions on that, or Randall? Randall, do you have anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Other than we're gonna meet in April again I'm sorry.
Or May.
19th? May 19th to meet again, and anyone who wants to come in and see how we do this, please come on in. It's okay to ask questions, it's okay to sit there and tell us what you think. Because we're here for you, we're not here just for me. Okay? This is your money. So far, I've had one person in the entire city, other than my volunteers, and I have to look at Linda when I say that, other than my volunteers and Tony, we haven't had a whole lot of input from the city. So please, come on out. Share in making the solution for the problem. Thank you.
Council members' comments this time?
All right, I would like to circle back to our IRS penalties, recorder rentals. I'd like to ask that what I'm about to say be entered into the minutes verbatim. On this agenda, you're told that we have paid overdue payments from the city for the second and third quarters of this year totaling $4,323.78 in penalties. Now, while I applaud the citizen who stepped up to pay this, they should never have had to have. Okay? First and foremost. We pay somebody $32,000 a year to handle this. So, there's a little bit more to the story that this agenda doesn't tell you. We only didn't miss the second and third payments, we also missed the first and the fourth. And all that is corroborated in the packet at the back of the room that I left for all of you. So for instance, on our first quarter, we were 5.5 months late. It was due on 4/30/25 and wasn't paid till 10/15. The second quarter, which was due 7/31, wasn't paid till December 22nd. The third quarter, when it was due on 10/31, also wasn't paid till December 22nd. And our fourth quarter, which was due on 1/31 of this year, wasn't paid till 2/9. That's 9 days after it was due. So we missed every single payment on time this year for 2025. So, I kind of have a few questions about the citizen that paid this, because it appears to me they had knowledge of the discrepancies of our financial situation before the council did. And I say this because on Sunday evening I received a phone call about the situation. So Sunday evening I received a phone call. Yeah, so, and I would also appreciate if you let me get through what I have to say before I'm interrupted. So, I received a phone call Sunday evening that there's possibly an issue with our tax payments. I sent an email to Mayor Stallman and Treasurer Reynolds Monday morning at 7 o'clock. I received no response. Tuesday morning, I sent a second email with a little bit more curt language in it, reminding our treasurer that when an elected official with fiduciary responsibility has financial statements, they should be given upon request, without having to ask for a second time. Now, finally, Mayor Stallman was nice enough to get back to me, and he told me at 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning that someone had already paid these. So how did this anonymous citizen know about this prior to our council know? How does that make sense? Someone explain it to me. How did a private citizen find out about our financial records before the council did? They just telepathy, they woke up in bed and said, oh, we must have missed our IRS payments. I better go drop off a $5,000 check. You see where I'm going? Well, I mean,
I don't want to interrupt you.
well, you can respond to me when I'm done. That's fine. If we want to go that route, that's okay too. So, let me put it to you guys like this. If we hired a CPA to do our taxes, and we find out they didn't pay them, and we paid them $32,000 to do this, what do we do when we find out they didn't pay our bills? That's what I would do if I owned a business and that happened to me. So, let's see, we had to get paid prior. Another red flag is that we overpaid. How are we overpaying when all of our software data should tell us exactly what we're paying? Okay? So, what it seems to me is that someone was trying to cover the situation instead of trying to let us know what was going on with our city finance. And I have a really big issue with that. And I imagine probably the people that elected us to keep an eye on their taxpayer funds do as well. So, if you would like to answer my questions, I'm open to the floor now. Okay.
For one, you received this information on Sunday, is that
I
correct?
received a phone call on Sunday.
Okay.
It was sent me supporting documents over the course of Monday.
My question to you then is, how did that person have this information that we did not pay second and third, or we had penalties on second and third quarter? Now let me finish my time, okay? And Tuesday afternoon is when the city got in the mail
from the IRS the penalties? How did these people know what the penalties were before the city received them?
Well, Mr. Salman, that's a really good question. I'm happy to answer that for you, because right here at 8:08 on Tuesday morning, at 8:08 in the morning, not in the afternoon, you emailed me the penalty. That's how I was able to tell Joey Greedy that, because you told me what the penalties were at 8:08. So did we get the letter in the afternoon, or did you already know on Monday?
They opened up the mail, what, was it Tuesday morning, afternoon?
Okay, so then, but my question is...
I sent you an email, I believe, was we were going to be looking into it.
At 8:08 in the morning, in the last, I have 40 copies that I'm happy to have.
No problem, you know. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's taxpayer money.
No, it wasn't taxpayer
It
money.
must have been some union, someone not a citizen. You're trying to cover up a huge lie where the taxpayers were on the hook. And so if you guys hadn't found a citizen to pay the $5,000, all these people would have been on the hook for $5,000.
You're right.
Yeah, I know. So don't sit here and tell me you didn't tell me the penalties at 8 o'clock in the morning. The person, Tracy Cappy, whose letter is in this packet, had no idea about the penalties until you told me about them.
No, you told me.
No, sir, I did not. I can pull up the email. I have the receipts, Bill. I asked Paula if there were any penalties and how they would be projected in the line items. By the way, I still have yet to receive any sort of correspondence on this from you.
I sent it to you.
I'm talking to the treasurer, who has an obligation to respond to council members with the information requested. Does everybody else think here that this is an issue?
Some private citizen found out before.
Yeah, that's my biggest question. How did a private citizen from Monday evening to 8:08 in the morning find out we had penalties?
And then the check showed up.
Thank you. We don't need any more comment from the crowd.
Any other councilman comments?
All right, folks, what you're witnessing is a cover-up right now, okay?
What answers? The taxes have, the penalties were paid by someone, okay?
You guys tried to square around it without letting this council know first.
No, that we didn't.
Okay, so then explain to me how someone woke up in their bed and knew that the city had IRS deficits. Explain, and here's my next question. Where are we at on our city payments, or on our state payments? Were those late too? Have we received any penalties for those?
No.
You sure? Because when I go through and dig through the stuff, this will be on record. I'm good. Y'all, there's packets in the back. Y'all take it home and read it, because apparently we're not going to get any real answers on the situation.
I just have a general observation. Maybe there is some way that you can get online and find out whether the city has paid their withholding taxes on their employees. Is that what we're talking about?
Well, someone knew before Sunday. Someone knew Sunday.
Yeah, because there's FOIA documents that show all the links. It's like, I don't understand, but it's not a big, it's not a question of how a citizen figured this out. All the information was FOIA. I have the, where did I even put them? I have the documents right here, the actual returns. It doesn't take a brain scientist to know that if we don't pay our taxes on time 4 times in a row, we're going to be hit with penalties. Anyone that's owned a business knows this. So no, there isn't some magical person that found out all this information. A citizen doing their due diligence, foiled it, got the information, brought it to a councilman who then had to dig for it, didn't get an answer until Tuesday, got a late answer. At that, telling me that someone just finally paid it, and now I'm hearing we didn't get the letter until Tuesday afternoon. So which is it? Did we know Monday, or did we know Tuesday? But, I mean, we don't have to go any further. Everyone out here to make their own judgment and pick up the back and I'm going down. I can email it.
Any more councilman comments? Do we have any any citizens' comments on agenda items? Okay.
As long as we're just getting down and dirty on everything, I've got a little venting I'd like to do. A couple months ago, a citizen came into the police department and made an accusation about me that, and another citizen, another public official. And it was pretty serious. It was an accusation that, if proven, would have gotten me sent to jail. And the accusation was that I was somehow procuring, with the help of another person, who I won't mention, and the person's in the room, if she'd like to stand up and talk when I'm done, I'd welcome them to, and demanded that I believe it was the drug task force or something be brought in to investigate this. Is that correct, Chief? And the way things kind of work in this town is that someone makes an accusation about something or says something, and they don't really need to prove it. It just kind of gets out, and then it gets on Facebook, and then all of a sudden it's the truth. And so I take offense to that. So I would like to publicly present this blank police report to Carol Duff to fill out. If you believe that I am procuring illicit drugs to take, I'd like you to fill this report out and give it to the police chief. Because then, exactly. And I take offense to this for a few reasons. I take offense to this because, number one, and most importantly, it's not true. And number two, someone in my family died because of drug addiction. I take this personally. And when someone comes in, and then the police go through the effort to send an officer to her house 3 times and ask her to fill that report out, and she won't. And we all know why she won't, don't we? Because it isn't true. And then that's something that I can take her to court for, because she has to put it on paper. So this is what I have to deal with. This is what we have to deal with all the time. You folks elected me to do a job. Mike is doing his job the way he feels, the way he sees fit. He found something he didn't like, he's going after it. That's what you hired us to do. Not to sit around and be accused of procuring drugs illicitly. Now let me give you a little clue, folks. If I wanted illicit drugs, if I wanted painkillers, guess what? I can get all the damn painkillers I want. And I'm going to offer a little trade here. That report that she just tore up that she won't fill out, if you fill that out, I will go get a hair follicle test, which will track my drug use or non-drug use for the last 9 months, and I will make that public. I dare you. It's shameful. It is shameful. And everybody in this town seems to be hooked up on apologies. Everyone's an apology for everything. I don't want an apology from you. I want these people to know what you have done. And you don't have the guts to fill out that report, so I don't need your apology. I have waited with this. I have had that report, and I have waited until you were here to do it to your face, because you didn't have the decency to do it to mine, and I'm better than that.
That's a big issue too. Why? I've been nothing but good to you. Why would you do that? Was it you or your husband? Your husband slammed the door in my face. I tried to reason with that man. But you talk about suing somebody, everybody sue everybody. The only ones that ever get rich is lawyers. But I'll tell you what, I'm old school. I'll give him the racist school deal when he gets out of the hospital. That's how I feel.
Point of order, Councilman Collins, this is going too far.
Okay, got it. But that was wrong, and it is shameful. We're trying to blame
Citizens' comments on the agenda items only, next time. None, we'll move on.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
State your name and address.
Tim Lastoff, 126 Hollywood Drive.
Turn the mic on. Thank you.
Am I on?
Yeah.
Tim Lastoff, 126 Hollywood Drive. I hate to see you guys yell and scream at each other. Because I voted for all of them. The ones that were in the election. And I really feel that you all have done a really good job in trying to turn this town around and everything else that has preceded you. I understand how Mike can have concerns about something that really should not have even come up. And instead of quarreling in front of us, it seems to me that the guy that wrote the check, how he wrote the check, I assume he didn't send it directly to IRS, but he's giving it to the council to send on the city's behalf. So if you got questions, why not just get all the participants together, join with your private council meeting if you don't want the public to be a part of it, and get your questions answered.
Because it's public forum, and the people need to hear.
Okay, but if you can at least get your questions answered, whether you do it in a private meeting or public forum, just get the participants together instead of, keeping the ghostwriter a secret. Just, in any inquiry that in any place I've ever lived, you have to get facts and you have to get it from the people that were, involved. So why not just do that? If you want to make it public at the next meeting when you found out, I mean, we'd all like to know. Obviously there were mistakes that were made because of late payment. How a private individual found out about it, I'd like to know. And why they felt like it was incumbent upon them to go ahead and make it up to the city. I'd like to know that too. But the people exist. They're not dead. They're living and around here. So instead of yelling at each other, why don't you find out, and then we'll all find out together after that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments on agenda items only?
This one's gonna be now. This is kind of serious problem. If anyone in this room has anything about cameras, small cameras, 360 small cameras, I've got a little apparatus that we can work together and get something going here. We talked about this. I kind of get dead in. If someone in here, please let me know. We'll work together on this and we'll get something working where we can find the breaks in the line, we can measure it out, we can dig it up and we can fix it.
What Danny's talking about is, we had talked about trying to come up with a globe, okay, and put 6 cameras inside that globe and attach it to a fishing line and let it look down the sewer line and take videos as it's going.
And it's the Bluetooth.
And it'd just be Bluetooth too, so we'd have, as it's going down, we have a an ongoing visual as that bubble's going down a sewer line. There's someone out there that has that intelligence on how to develop something. It's obviously going to be waterproof. But it's got to be tiny enough to get into the sewer line and get all 360. So.
And there's some self-control in the next work in this case. Really?
So,
I can show you mine.
yeah.
Got to try to work.
Bobby, if you could bring it in.
I'll work with you. This
No. Okay.
Nothing political. No, yeah, yeah, nothing political. Design and non-politics.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's do it.
Any other citizens' comments on the agenda items? Now we'll move on. Old business. Meeting place, rental agreement with the First Baptist Church. All copy of what parishioners have all signed and agreed with. This lease is, do you have any questions before I go and read? This agreement, if passed tonight, will be the 26th day of February 2026, between the City of Shoals, Arkansas, hereinafter called Leesor, and First Baptist Church of Shoals, Arkansas, hereinafter called DC. Leasee shall be allowed to occupy the real estate located at 907 Carolyn Drive, Shoals, Arkansas, on the following terms and conditions. Leasee shall pay the leaseor the sum of $0 per year as rental between January 1st, 2026 and end December 31st of 2026. The said leasee further covenants with the leaseor that at the expiration of the term state in this lease or any extension thereof, peacefully possession of said premises shall be given to the leaseor in a good condition as they now are usually where inevitable accident or loss by fire expected, and that if the leaseor decides to use said property for other community purposes, the leaseor will give 30-day notice to the leasee to exit and remove all belongings. The leasee hereby waives any notice of said election or any demand for the possession of said premises. It is further covenant and agreed between the parties hereto as follows. The leasee is not to sublet any part of the above described premise without the written consent of the leaseor. If the above described premises or any part thereof or building of which the premises are a part are substantially destroyed by fire or other hazard, then this lease shall become null and void. Leasee agrees to comply with city, county, state, and federal laws and regulations, and any violation of said laws or regulations will render this lease subject to immediate termination. The leasee shall not do or permit anything to be done upon or about the leased premises that increases the fire hazard or over that for the usual or ordinary dwelling occupancy. Leasee shall make all repairs associated with the property to the satisfaction of leaseor. Furthermore, leasee shall be responsible for all utilities, including but not limited to electricity, propane, and tank rental, water, sewer, and sanitation. That leaseor shall have the right to enter the property during the term of this lease for any reason which might be pertinent to this lease or the property which is covered by said lease. Leaseor shall be allowed to continue to utilize the adjacent unpaid parking area. The lease was presented to the City Council, City of Shoals, Arkansas, and approved by the City Council on, hopefully, I got down here, we'll do it together tonight. Any questions on that? We have a motion to accept. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, next thing on the agenda, I have, we still have no contract submitted by either Methvin or MSI for trash pickup. I just received one today from Methvin. Okay, I hurried up and got that copy of contract to all you aldermen, and to have you look it over. I read it and looked it over and compared it to the 2014 contract that we had with them. The only thing that I found changes is basically the time change as far as what is we're doing now as far as new technology. Okay, those were taken out and pretty much everything else was the same. I did notice the fuel cost was $3.63, and if it goes up 10 cents, okay, we would have to procure that 10-cent increase or 20-cent increase every 10 cents. But it's never going to go below the 363. That's the only question I had with Methvin. Did you guys find anything that you have representative here from Methvin? If you have any questions for them.
So, my name's John Bowden, by the way, district manager. So, district manager for waste collection / Methvin sanitation.
Have you figured out how we're going to change the way we're currently calculating the number of dumpsters or trash cans you're picking up to make it more realistic instead of just a ballpark figure?
So far, we have the wastewater is how it's billed to the city. Yes, we require that information every month. That is what we bill all of. Now, we also have tablets that are electronically controlled to where our driver rolls through the town and clicks buttons as he picks things up. That is the way that we can manage our service area and the pickups that we have versus what the water goes, who's paying the water goes, which ones are snowbirds, which ones aren't.
The reason I'm asking is because I was told here several months ago that we just paid a lump sum for solid waste pickup. And on just a massive number of houses, but we weren't really picking up at all those residents, which means you guys were making bank while we were not getting paid for it.
I'm sorry, as far as I know, and please understand, I've only been here 4 or 5 months, and I'm learning some of the cities that I had to do will have a figure. Please, don't take this. So from what I understand, our billing comes straight from the city. The city decides to bill for 987 homes. And 20 of those homes didn't cancel their service due to they got canceled their sanitation service. Yes, we billed that. Now, if they canceled their service and it dropped down to 957 homes, that's what we do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any other questions for
This is another question for him. I know that we tried to bid this out to other people. Did anyone else even answer?
No. Made contact with MSI, and sanitation, and they have not turned in anything. It's been, what, a month and a half. And I did contact another individual that does service out of Gasville or Cottage, south end, but he advised me that he is a small unit and can take down a large unit. The only other one I contacted was in Harrison, and I think they went out of business because the phone never went through. So, basically up to those two companies, and they're the only ones that respond with the contract.
And so you know, we have manpower, we have truck power, we have districts all over the United States. So if we ever came to an issue, we have the opportunity to always ensure credit to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
Minus what?
I will say that the 2014, okay, I think we were right now, the 2014 was $12, I think, initially, and we are right now, what, 1503, and they're raising it up to $16. So, in what, 12 years, it's gone up $1, or actually 97 cents.
Did you get your question answered about the price of gas?
Yeah, we discussed it. What they're saying is, you know, if they leave it at that $3.63, even if it gets down to $3, you know, depending on if, you know, they open up the pipeline and produce more diesel, you know. If that goes down to $3, we're not going to adjust it down to $3. We're still going to be paying the $16. Okay. Now, if it goes above 10 cents or 20 cents, it's in 10-cent increments, that if they need the additional cost, they'll advise us in advance that they're going to need the additional cost to make their bills meet. But then, you know, they're going to have maintenance and all that. So.
You go up there, can't come down.
Right. Where it's sitting at right now.
It's due to fuel. So we take a year in advance and we sign a contract for fuel off. And that fuel off is good, that's what we're gonna pay all year long. So we know. Now, if the fuel off receives the increase due to managing the demand, then we're gonna receive it, and the only way to do that is pass it on to the consumer.
In that case, are you looking for a motion?
Yeah.
I make a motion to accept the
I'll
contract.
second it.
Any more discussion on it? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, sir. Next thing on the agenda is ordinance 2026-03, golf carts on city streets, second reading by title only. City of Old Shoals, Arkansas, ordinance 2026-03, an ordinance to permit the use of golf carts on Old Shoals city streets under authority of Arkansas statute ACA 1454-1410 and for other purposes. A motion to accept.
Motion.
Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Move to third reading next meeting. New business, ordinance 2026-04, amendments to ordinance 2007-06, code changes. Ordinance number 2026-04, an ordinance amending the zoning code of the city of Old Shoals, Arkansas, providing for repeal of conflicting provisions and for other purposes. Whereas the city council of the city of Old Shoals, Arkansas, has adopted zoning regulations pursuant to its authority under Arkansas law, and whereas the city council finds it necessary and desirable to update certain zoning provisions in order to promote orderly growth and to protect public health and safety. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Shoals, Arkansas, Section 1, changes to zoning ordinance. The following changes shall be made to the city zoning ordinance either by adding or by replacing contradicting language and repealing such parts of such conflicting ordinances as may arise. 1. City ordinance, page 166, 14.08.01, definition shall include the following language. For the purposes of this regulation, certain terms and words are to be used and interpreted as defined hereafter. In addition, some definitions listed restrict and define the meaning and intent of permitted use set forth in the zoning ordinances. 2. City ordinance, page 175, single-family residence, R1, Section A, shall gain the following additional permitted use. Short-term rental as defined in the city's current short-term rental ordinance. 3. City ordinances, page 183, general commercial 1, section 1, replacing off-street parking with the following. There shall be one off-street parking space provided per 180 square feet of floor area within the structure. Parking spaces may be paved or concrete with stripe markings. Alternatively, the parking spaces may be gravel, maintained in good condition without potholes. All erosion-related issues are the sole responsibility of the owner of the property and shall be remediated immediately. Handicap parking spaces shall be provided and marked accordingly to state and federal requirements and standards. 4. City ordinance, page 185, Commercial Highway District, C2, Section B, adding the following to permitted use under heading 2, gas stations / convenience stores, and food trucks. 5. City ordinance, page 186, Section B, adding the following to permitted uses under heading 2. 9. Light industry uses. As this district is often located in proximity to residential districts, its purpose is to permit the operation. Its purpose is to permit the operation of industries, trades, and services that can be operated in a relatively clean and quiet manner and which will not be obnoxious to adjacent residential or business districts. Thus, it is intended primarily for the conduct of light manufacturing, assembly, fabrication, and for warehousing, wholesaling, and service uses, conducted by operations which are primarily carried on within enclosed buildings, while having adequate land area for parking and landscaping and with adequate safeguards for safety and aesthetics. 6. City ordinance, page 189, commercial resorts in a residential 1 district, C4, section B. 1. Tourist accommodation shall have the following additions. A. All resort rooms / accommodation shall be fully furnished, including but not limited to bed and bath linen. 7. City ordinance, page 195, off-street automobile and vehicle parking and loading, section F, paid service required, shall be repealed and removed in its entirety. 8. City ordinance, page 195, signs shall be modified to the following. Signs shall be in accordance with the city current adopted sign ordinance. 9. City ordinance, page 196, fences and walls, section A, general, shall have the following additions. Number 4, current city fence ordinance shall be enforced and applied to all applications. 10, city ordinance, page 198, a new section immediately prior to conditional uses shall be added named short-term rental ordinance, and the current short-term rental ordinance, presently ordinance 2025-09, shall be integrated here. Section 2, severability, if any section, subsection, paragraph, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance shall be declared unconstitutional or invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, such decision shall not affect the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, repeal it. All ordinance and parts of ordinance in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. Section 4, effective date, this ordinance shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage, approval, and publication as required by law. Do I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, if I might, could you take the mic, please?
Is this going to bring, is this going to bring our ordinance all the way up from 2001 up to, from 2001 to conflict with 2007 to make us correct? Is this all we need to do?
Yes, this is, all these ordinances, the pages and everything are labeled for the 2007 ordinance. So, our other book is going to be something that we use just for our own purpose because the two are almost identical. The only difference being that the 2007 code book, the penalties have increased a little bit for people that fail to comply.
And what we can do is make copies, once we make these changes in the code book, and give planning and zoning, each member, a copy of the 2007 with the changes.
Sure. And we also have other changes we're going to be adding to it. One is the bill that the state passed for allowing people in residential R1 districts to put in more or less one of the apartments. And we have to have it in the state requires us to do that. So there are some changes that didn't need to come to the council, but we'll be adding that in at the same time.
I think I'll make a motion to accept the ordinance.
Then we have a motion, we have a motion.
Well, we already have first and second. I have a question to that one.
Yeah, any more discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
I would like to have a motion for a second and third reading by title only.
Motion.
I think I have to do suspend the rules first.
If we don't suspend the rules and then send it around and then carry it forward with the
Okay, so let's go back to, I need a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'd like to have a motion, we have a motion on the floor, or can we have a new motion?
I'll make a new motion.
Okay.
I'll second the new motion.
So the new motion being that we read ordinance 2026-04 by title only the second and third time. Is that correct?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you. Okay, next thing on is resolution 2026 R01, Board of Zoning Adjustment nominees. And looking at the law and the ordinance that we have, a resolution was needed, and this is resolution 2026 R01, a resolution nominating
the individuals to the City of Bull Shoals Board of Zoning Adjustment confirmed by the City Council for the City of Bull Shoals, Arkansas. Whereas the Mayor of the City of Bull Shoals under the Municipal Code 1408.06A is to nominate 5 individuals to be members of the Board of Zoning Adjustment, and whereas the City Council of the City of Bull Shoals is to confirm said nominees. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Bull Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, that the following individuals have been nominated by Mayor Bill Stallman to sit on the Board of Zoning Adjustment in accordance with the Municipal Code 1408.06A .08.06A of ordinance 2007-06. Scott Shoals, 1-year term, ends 2/26 of 27. John Stofford, 1-year term, ends 2/26 of 27. Scott Gallion, 2-year term, ends 2/26 of 28. Merle Fawcett, 2-year term, ends 2/26/28. Rick Anderson, 3-year term, ends 2/26/2029. Have a motion to accept. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion on it? If not,
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I got a question. You just made him a department head. Is that a conflict of interest for him to be also on the zoning commission? Blair? Well, my concern is that I don't want anyone throwing rocks that we're doing things illegally, and that's why I'm asking. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I got a question. Back up to ordinance 2026, we suspended the rules to have you read by title only, and then you tell me if I'm wrong. And you skipped that and went to what you just did.
Title only is next month.
For next month.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We can,
I thought you were gonna do all three tonight.
non-appropriation ordinance, or, that, we have to read 3 times. So, at 3 meetings, that's why we have second reading on the golf cart. Next month, we'll have our 3rd reading. Good question, though. Appreciate it. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is resolution 2026 R02, policy on use of AI for city officials and employees. Have you had gander at what we come up with and what we decided on? Any questions before I read?
Yes, sir. Question tonight. On that, it says that you highly encourage employees to do the training. But then 2 paragraphs later, you're saying if you don't do the training and you don't follow the we can fire you. I don't know if highly recommended or highly encouraged is the proper word if you're going to be terminating somebody over it.
Did we miss something?
Where is that, Randall? Page 2, just before the end.
Are you talking about the last paragraph before this resolution passed?
Yeah.
The city hereby adopts a disciplinary procedure for violations of AI policy, which shall be incorporated into the city's employee handbook and enforced accordingly.
Yes, but if you look up above that, 2 paragraphs up, it says training is highly encouraged. It doesn't say it's mandated. It says it's highly encouraged, but I can fire you if you don't adhere to it, and you don't do the training. So I have a problem with that.
We had a choice.
You have a choice, so I didn't try to decision that hard.
First looking at here says section 403 employee shall complete their AI training on power. Shall complete training on the AI policy as provided by the Arkansas Schools. So this one here is a shall complete. I'm not seeing anything about recommendations here in this version, it's not looking at that. I think this is good. I think you might be referring to a different version that.
Oh, okay, so I was reading off the one I got, let's get it.
Yeah.
I'll take the point for it.
I
Yeah, this is universal, specific.
I'm trying to quit shaking.
The one we're looking at is the top one there, we should see
It
channel.
says right here.
I think you want to read.
Are you guys matched up?
We're good.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong page, it was under the
Exhibit A, it's the highly search. Exhibit A under training.
Okay, but,
Which one do you, I know there's one point of the two versions. The shall version is what you have version in front of you, and we'll leave you on top.
yeah, I think the exhibit A, we want the shell.
Really just pick one.
Okay. Any other questions before? Okay. Resolution number 2026-02, a resolution adopting an artificial intelligence policy for the city of Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas, in compliance with the Act 848 of 2025 and for other purposes. Whereas Act 848 of 2025, enacted by the Arkansas General Assembly and codified in Arkansas Code 25-1-128, requires all public entities, including municipalities, to adopt a policy concerning the authorized use of artificial intelligence, AI, and automated decision tools. And whereas the Act defines AI as a machine-based system that can, based on a given set of human-defined objectives, make predictions, recommendations, or decisions influence real or virtual environments, and it defines automated decision tool as a system or service that uses AI and has been specifically developed and marketed or specifically modified to make or to be controlling factor in making consequential decisions. And whereas the Act mandates that final decision involving AI must be made by a human employee, and whereas Section B of Act 848 specifically prohibits the use of AI and automated decision tools by public employees as defined in Section 3 of this resolution. And whereas the Act further requires municipalities to provide employee training on the AI policy and to establish disciplinary procedures for violation of the policy. And whereas the Arkansas Municipal League has made training resources available to assist municipalities in complying with Act 848. Now therefore be resolved by City Council of the City of Old Shoals, Marion County, Arkansas. Section 1, the city hereby adopts the attached artificial intelligence policy which defines the authorized use of AI and automated decision tools by city employees. Section 2, the policy requires that all consequential decisions involving AI tools must be reviewed and finalized by a human employee or authorized designee. Section 3 of the policy includes a prohibition on the use of AI and automated decision tools for the following purposes, as required by Section B of Act 848 of 2025. Expressing a personal political opinion to an elected official unless the opinion is within the scope of the employee's regular job duties or requested by an elected official or public entity, or engaging in lobbying an elected official on a personal opinion if the employee is not a registered lobbyist for the city, engages in illegal activities or activities otherwise prohibited by federal law or state law, intentionally overriding or avoiding the cybersecurity or system integrity procedures of the city. Section 4, all city employees shall complete training on the AI policy as provided by the Arkansas Municipal League or other approved sources prior to using AI on city business or city equipment. Section 5, the city hereby adopts a disciplinary procedure for violation of the AI policy, which shall be incorporated into the city's employee handbook and enforced accordingly named policy number 2026 P01 attached as Exhibit A. I have a motion to accept.
Motion accept.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Next being, is Resolution 2026 R03, clarifying fee for yearly sign permits. Guys have any questions on that before I read? This one's real short. Resolution number 2026 R03, a resolution to set fees for sign permits in the city of Shoals, Arkansas, whereas ordinance 2020-02 requires that sign fees be set by resolution, and whereas the sign fees have not been updated since 2014. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Shoals, Arkansas, that the following fees and conditions are set for sign permits beginning February 26, 2026. Number 2, all sign permit fees shall be annual. The permit is good for the calendar year in which it was issued. 3, fees for signs and business licenses are payable by January 31st of each year. After January 31st, the fee doubles for each. Number 4, the minimum sign permit fee for 60 square feet and under is $15. If the sign is two-sided, the fee is $15 per side. Number 5, any sign over 60 square feet will be charged 25 cents per square foot. If it is a two-sided sign, the charge is 25 cents per square foot on each side. Number 6, on-site signs and directional signs must conform to the current sign ordinance number 2020-02. Only 2 off-site signs are allowed per entity. Number 7, if the entity requesting a sign permit requires a business license, the sign application shall not be issued unless the business license is also purchased or renewed. An occupational or business license renewal shall not be issued unless the sign permit renewal is also paid. If the applicant does not want to renew the sign permit, the sign must be removed within 30 days. Ordinance number 2020-02. Number 8, sign permit fees are not refundable. This resolution is to take effect immediately upon passage by the Shoals, Arkansas City Council. And a motion to accept.
Second.
All those in favor, any discussion on it first?
I do. What does a business license and sign permit, is that 2 separate entities or not? This is for a sign permit, but it's also saying business license.
This one will be by a business license and different sign permit at the same time.
Is that answered?
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Down to citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments?
We need a motion to approve this, with that motion to approve this. Hey, great job.
Are we gonna, Erica, are we gonna make the changes that we talked about?
Yes.
You wanna kind of talk about that real quick so everybody will know that that's gonna be added to it?
Okay, I have several suggestions to add to the welcome pack. Women's Crisis Center, K1, food pantry, park opening, and any social services that resources that we offer locally.
Okay.
So I will be adding that. Is there anything else each of you have seen that you want to add?
Yeah, I mentioned to Erica that we're gonna have to stay on top of this because this is gonna constantly change. Okay? new businesses come in, hopefully, we're gonna be adding them. So, but this is, basically we wanna just invite whoever comes into our town to stay, they have some sort of a welcome packet.
And another thing is we're talking about, I talked to Kevin earlier about it, making instead of a pamphlet, a booklet. So we're gonna talk about that and, see if we can make it.
I look for a motion to accept this, as our starting format.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the mayor's comments. Or citizens' comments, I'm sorry. It's not worth it. I guess you gotta put your mouth right into it, I don't know. That'll work there.
I'll just help. Mayor and city council members, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm here tonight in response to the recent article posted on the city's website regarding fuel and discussions that took place at the workshop. When the mayor communicates directly with every household, that message carries authority and influence. It shapes public perception in ways few others can. The people who served this community for nearly 2 years by informing residents, highlighting, The people who served this community for nearly 2 years by informing residents, highlighting local voices and covering issues that matter to our town. It is not a political arm of any office, it's a community publication. When statements are made about it from the mayor's office, it deserves more than a 3-minute reply at voting. Requesting additional time to speak is not about special treatment, it's about balance. If a citywide platform is used to address or criticize a local publication, there should be time for a thoughtful and complete response. I've been accused of printing false information. I have been accused of the view of being detrimental to the city. The mayor wrongly accused me of non-payment of my business license, for which he has since apologized, making against it. All of this was posted for the entire city to read. So, Mr. Mayor, you can see how easy it is to make a mistake. They can't be rescinded until you find out about it. In closing, due to the lack of time allowed, I'm supplying the council with a printout of the storylines for the entire year of 2025. That's the only full year that I've got yet so far. I challenge every council member to read through the list and let me know which story or stories were false or detrimental to the city.
Did you include the one where you used anonymous names, but against me and my family? Is that one in your timeline?
Yes. And the apology.
That was fraud, but not directly to the people that are affected.
I apologize to your grandfather. I don't know if you told me. So, where am I at now? And to the council, your negative voices were heard on the tape at the workshop meeting. If you can't find any lies, mistakes, or problems with what has been printed in the viewer, I would ask for your voices to be added to the mayor's public apology. Finally, I would urge the audience here, along with the entire city, to contact their alderman to get a copy of this list. Time is up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Is Leslie Snow here today, by chance? Is Leslie Snow in the room?
I want to make a point, Gary. This council, this mayor has not cut one single person off at 3 minutes. Many speakers have gone over 3 minutes. Not one person has been cut off. Not one person has been removed. You know, so just to be fair, if you want to talk, we'll let you talk. We haven't cut anyone off yet. I don't anticipate that we're going to cut anyone off anytime soon. So,
I would also like to represent something that Mr. Landak said. I've discussed with him on several occasions. This was a political bulletin initially. He recommended candidates. He had a list of candidates to vote for. I actually was not one of them, unfortunately. There are some people up here who were listed. But I'm just saying, you stated earlier that this was not a political piece of equipment, and it absolutely 100% was. And I discussed that with you, and you said, yeah, maybe, whatever. And I encourage you not to make this a political magazine, whatever you want to call it, because I think that's a huge mistake. It's no longer a valuable thing for the community. It's just your opinion of who we should vote for. Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments?
Yes. Captain Court, regarding the article for people, he admonished the city for lack of transparency, which I take exception with. I think it's probably one of the most transparent city council we've ever had. But regarding transparency, I know it's Leslie Snow, can't seem to find anyone named Leslie Snow. The only person that's even identified as an author in any of this is Mrs. Matthews here, who we all know and stuff. But all these other comments, there's no name attached to them other than, no one seems to recognize Leslie Snow. So I would ask that the people be a little more transparent going forward than they have been in the past. Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments?
The school chief, members of the staff room, or Shoals. Mr. Hutchins, you, I want to answer specific question. You talk about false accusations. Let's talk about that. In regards to your budget committee's former chairman, you made some false accusations. You made some false accusations. Name them. Name them? Name them. All right, I'm going to effective this.
We made no
I asked you not to say anything.
Oh, so you want to accuse me and not let me know?
I'm not gonna put up with it, officer. If you don't.
You're not gonna do this again.
Exit it.
You're not going to let me talk.
No, I'm gonna let you talk
All right.
civilly.
All right, I'm talking still. I asked him not to interrupt.
Well, then
Say what you want to say.
I will. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Then you know what? Since you don't want my answer, I'm not going to be here.
That's a regular thing.
Just tell me when you're done.
That's fine.
No, just tell me when you're done. You obviously lawyer. Exactly. Yeah.
My office.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. He also said that there was a vote to remove the former chairperson. Later on, he said, well, it's just a consensus. Okay? So he shouldn't talk about false accusations when he makes it. The other thing I'd like to ask about is what is the disciplinary action coming from this 941 file?
She was reprimanded.
That's what I got. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Lynn?
I just want to remind everybody of voting Saturday and Sunday down on the website. And it's March 14th and 15th, Saturday at 10 o'clock. Bring a rake, a blower, lots of energy and tip spray. Okay. And then possibly, if we have enough time, and we'll prioritize what park we'll do that next. We'd like to hit all the parks with at least 1 or 2 days of volunteer services. The other thing is that I am working on the welcome to those Shoals signs, the wood ones that are falling down. And we I don't know if everyone read Mountain Home Observer, where Ed Jimmy T's the fly fishing
shop is going to have the rain hotter to a mural. There's going to be a ribbon cutting on 326 and 530 is 6. I'm going to have those signs painted, but they will need to be replaced. And that's another story. Yes, I found it cheaper. But, I hope that the city comes out to see this and we can clean up our city because there are quite a few, companies, sponsors coming in for their, living Where is it? Entrance. Jimmy. So, these sponsors are fly fishing companies. You know more about it?
I just heard about it today.
You know, okay.
I sent you an email, and I'm hoping that you are gonna represent me because we have a council meeting that night.
I can't do that because I'm here.
But it's I did respond to him that I went ahead and made it, it's a council meeting.
Welcome to the town. You know, it's five
Yeah, it starts at 5 o'clock, but there's several speakers.
5:30 to 6.
Hey, can't you go last and I open second and then I do last and then you're on?
Well, that's true.
Well, you too.
Any other citizens' comments?
Keep going north in our kind of circle. To address a little bit more what we're talking about. That's going to be March 26th. There's going to be 3 national magazines there. I believe a lot of people from the state will be here for that. When I was contacting and asked for they would like to have city officials, I didn't realize it was a meeting line, but they'd like to have as many city officials there representing the city on that. And I got personal contact with the address, and
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's time as our council.
I didn't realize the date and all that, but anyways, you've all been formally invited for this, just to let you know. And, just another thing, since everything's been going on, everybody's been working real hard trying to get things going right. Especially that man right there. All of you have, everyone has. It's really bad deal. But I see a bad issue and this anonymous dog. That does not look good for the city. Is that anybody really sad? Is there a law, legal, or since it's, you could not anonymously donating for stuff for the city, but since this has to do with money going for a fine, let's say, should that not be public information? I'm just asking. I don't know the answer. Because the whole time, everybody, we've been trying to make everything very transparent. Since everybody,
If you wrote on something and requested to be anonymous, would you want that to be carried out?
well, I would think it would help with the things of that.
I ask you again, if you want to be anonymous, would you want that carried out?
It's basically what I wanted to be what we don't do. Like I said, I don't know the answer legally, just for transparency, that's all I'm getting. No big deal, I'm not, I just want to say that.
It is a big deal because it is a transparency.
Yes.
Okay, and it is foilable, by the way. But the issue is.
It's already been foiled.
Okay, well, good, that's people's public discourse, they're allowed to do that. But the issue with it at hand is how do we know that the person doing it wasn't doing it for favor from the city government? How do we know? We don't know. We don't know. Somebody could have done something, given this check on the pretense. I'm not saying this happened, but somebody could give them this check on the pretense that they're going to get a sweetheart deal on something down the road. We don't know. That's what transparency is all about. That's why we told the food pantry they couldn't put garbage in our trash can on a handshake deal.
Yeah, that's the difference. I'm saying between buying and donating. Okay, let's go this. Now, I got donations for the party.
And all that is for it.
Hey, come on, I mean, now, how does that need to be rolled out again to the park?
Old Shoals, the city of Old Shoals, and the Memo Line archery range.
And that will, all that money will directly go to archery, that way it's distributed directly to that. That's what we
It's
want.
important for people to let us know, keep the tally of who's coming.
So, City of Old Shoals, and then on the memo, archery range, and that fund will directly go to archery. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I have a quick question if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
How is anonymity okay for a donor, but not for my readers?
You're the news. You're the news. You're supposed to conduct yourself with transparency. Because then I could just write any article and say, you know, Kevin Hutchinson beats up kitties on the weekend, and then there's nothing that comes out.
Wow. I see it.
It's all about transparency.
So yes, I agree with you. There is a difference, but you're supposed to be held to a higher standard right off the bat. That's why I limit the Y'all the one saying I want to know who's on the check too, which I will be requesting, but.
Let me ask the expert. Are there any readers that submit anything to the bulletin that remain anonymous?
No.
Okay.
No.
So pseudonyms are okay?
No.
No.
No, we have to have the name and trust and disclosure. And I name and trust and phone number. We don't send the phone. But we have to be called to verify that we sent the letter.
Any other citizens' comments? Joey?
Are you gonna say anything about this? Because you guys are gonna have to figure out what's going on.
Well,
I don't know.
I got it in the mayor's comments here, but,
Alright, go ahead.
any more citizens' comments? Okay, like you were saying, we received a letter from the Arkansas Municipal League requesting at least a quorum to travel to Fayetteville on March 6th of next month to go over a case where Brenna Farrell and Charles Farrell have sued the city on against previous employees, and it is a hearing for settlement. But we are requested to have city council members there along with the mayor at 9:30? I think it's 9:30.
Too late.
9 a.m.
9 a.m., so we gotta leave here by 6, okay, to be there on time. So, we have to have at least a quorum to make a decision if, a decision is made, if there is a settlement. If there is not a settlement, the folks are gonna have to decide at that meeting if, you want to go along with whatever settlement they may have, the AML, with these folks, okay, that have sued the city, or we go ahead and pursue it at a trial. So that's what this hearing is about.
Who pays the settlement now? Is the city paying?
Well, it's going to be the city and the AML. They cover certain amounts, and we'll have to find out at that settlement hearing. So, my suggestion is every one of us needs to be there. I realize you might be working. Councilman Webb has some health issues he has to take care of, so he may not be able to. We're not sure yet.
I'm not able to will.
We're going to have at least four, so.
We'll make sure we have the four.
The other thing is, we'll discuss the welcome packet, and that's going to be an ongoing thing that will be on our website and hopefully constantly updated. Marion County, sales tax increase issue. Everybody's been voting on it. I just want to clarify it again that a half-cent sales tax is for the construction of the new community center, which will be located on South 14 and 235 in Yellville. That half-cent sales tax was instituted when they built the jail, and at that time they said that 5 cents would sunset. Well, now we're asking to keep that 5-cent sales tax. The other thing is that quarter-cent sales tax that is supposed to be used for the maintenance of the facility. They have three options of using that money. Okay, the third option being they don't have to put that money towards that facility. They can use it anywhere in the government. Okay, so make yourself aware before you vote on which way you want to vote, yes or no. I'm just bringing that out to you folks.
I have a comment on that, Mr. Mayor. That's on 235?
Yeah.
Okay. How far down 235?
No, it's right in the corner.
That's 114?
At 14 and 235 where Eagle's Nest used to be, resort there.
You can't miss it, they got 30 signs up there.
Yeah. Northwest Arkansas Economic Development is holding a park grants workshop on Wednesday, March 11th, 2026, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, located at Creekside Community Center, Harvest Meeting Room, 515 South Spring Street in Harrison, Arkansas. I'm hoping that, some of my grant people can meet there and get educated. I don't know if Lynn, you're not on the parks, but if you can make it, it definitely helps because it deals with parks. Anybody else that wants to hook up with Lynn and get over there, hey, more the merrier. All we can do. The city is having a Red Cross coming for a blood drive on Wednesday, March 25th, 2026, between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. And another date is set for May 20th, between 12:30 and 5:30, right here at City Hall. Next month, our water, sewer, and trash pickup bill will be increasing. That's this one that's coming up right now. It's increasing $5. Two of those dollars are going to the maintenance and depreciation accounts for the water department, and $3 is going to be going towards the maintenance for the sewer department. So once we get started on repairing these sewer lines, we're going to have some money to take and put towards those repairs. This is something that we definitely have to do. ADEQ is the one that is holding that $10,000 fine over our heads. We pay $2,000. We have to show that we are actually trying to do something about the infiltration there. So by working with this agency that I've been working with for the last 8 months, we are doing that. We are trying to correct the situation, find out where our infiltration is coming from. One of the biggest things that we did, and I had never realized this, was for individuals that have basements and a sump pump, your sump pump should not be hooked up to the city sewer line, okay? When we have heavy rains and your sump pump is running and it's running into our sewer line, we are just treating rainwater, okay? It should be disposed out 10, 20 feet away from your house. not into your neighbor's yard, but away from your house, so it doesn't keep on going into, so that is one issue that we have found that may be helping with the infiltration that we are getting into our sewer line. If you have any dogs, get your dog licenses.
You okay?
I'm sorry, I just my dog. Moving on, the Army Corps Mountain Home Office is reviewing our request to place disc golf and tee boxes on sponsor signs along with the areas that can be cleared for the holes. And next location in the wood section of Danville Park. So right now, I've met with a representative of the disc golf club and Trevor from the Corps. He is taking those recommendations that we sat with and discussed down at Dan User. We walked through and came down with what recommendations, what signs, where we can clear, and he's taking that to his boss, who is the head ranger at the Mountain Home Office, and we're waiting on what those recommendations and what we can actually do for that disc golf. Got here, we have downloaded classes for our grant writing classes and several others. So anybody that's interested in looking at those downloads, interested in grant writing, we have those here. We can hook it up at any time. Anyone want to come in and look at that and how we can benefit by grants and how to write grants is going to be available. We received a cease and desist letter from Stephen Carroll Dust on a violation, that they're in violation of a fence ordinance, and I think that's all I have. Any of you guys have any more? Motion to adjourn. Let me see the dog now.
Okay, if you have a dog, they also need to be registered with the city and given a one-time fee for a lifetime city dog tag, but you will need to bring a valid receipt from the licensed veterinarian showing your dog has been vaccinated, maximum of 3 years old. Either have either 1 year or 3 years rabies vaccination. Sorry about that. It is the responsibility of the dog owner to update the city with any changes such as phone number of owner, dog, if the dog has moved or passed away.
Got a motion to adjourn? Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
We get a little